Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to explain what you can expect to see from the console within the onPC software, or rather what will be on your two touchscreens. We will start with the display 2 on your left screen. On the left side of each screen you will see a control bar. Working our way down on the icons from top to bottom, the first icon is the power icon for shutdown. The cog here opens the main menu. The next three buttons are useful if you are away from the console and need to make command strokes or changes. The button icon opens the command section menu. Next, you will see the slider icon to open up the master controls. And thirdly, the fader icon opens the playback controls menu. Following these icons, we have the display icon next to to access your displays. The question mark will open a help menu. Next, the at button will open the at overlay. And last but not least, the lock icon to lock the console. To the right of the control bar, we see the user-defined area. This is a space that can be filled with various pools or content that you will use to interact with for your experiences. They vary per page. If you look at the right of your screen, you see the view pools that have already been created. In this layout on display 2, we have the program view with various program attributes, the effects view handling phaser control as well as matrix, color, position, layout, phaser, and show. When you're preparing for an experience, I recommend living on the show view pool with your active sequence selected. Below the user-defined area, we see the command line. Here we can see any syntax we write, such as select sequence 1000 please, or we can hover over a specific area on PC to learn what it is. Below the command line, we see the playback window. These shows all the sequences that are assigned to the executors on the console. 101 through 110 corresponds to the bottom row of buttons on the console. 201 through 210 correspond with the second row of executor buttons as well as the faders. 301 through 310 correspond with the third row of executor buttons and dials. And lastly, 401 through 410 correspond with the top row of the executor buttons and dials. The top left number corresponds with its place on the playback window. The top right number shows you the sequence number, and the MST below it shows the intensity value of this sequence, which can be changed using the dial or the fader. Now let's move to display 1, or your right screen, to go over this view. The control bar has the same settings, but the view pools are different. The 3D view shows your fixtures in a 3D view, where you can also view different camera angles in your 3D render. Macro and sequence is next, then layout, then timecode, fixture sheet, playback, and then show. I recommend using the timecode view for your experiences on display 1. The command line here is also the same as display 2. Underneath the command line, we see the encoder bar. Here we can change various attributes for our fixtures. We have dimmer, position, gobo, color, beam, focus, and control. Not all attributes will work with all fixtures, so pay attention to what options you have. Under each attribute in the encoder bar, we also see some items like absolute, relative, fade, speed, etc. These adjust values within that specific attribute. Play around with the onPC software to look at a few different views, items, and other user-defined areas, and especially adjusting attributes and sequences both in the encoder bar and the playback window.